Hi, Heather here in Chicago, still visiting family. I felt it important for me to just stop and share. Something occurred to me while I was running this morning, and it felt significant. I think when we experience connections in ourselves, connections between our spirit, our mind, and our body, when those three things line up, we do best to express them, to remember them, to recall them, to share them. I feel, in fact, that our responsibility here, being alive, has to do with lining those three things up, and probably more than even just that, lining things up in general, bringing a kind of harmony and order to our experience of being human. I think when we do that, we in effect begin to create a kind of heaven on earth, and it's my understanding that that is why I'm here, is to help facilitate a higher frequency on this dense plane that we currently reside in. And while I was running this morning, synchronicities began to occur. It seems so tiny and trivial and simple that in sharing it right now, I'm almost embarrassed, as if it's not enough. But there's something in me that knew in that moment that I was having a kind of synchronistic experience. And as that was occurring, it began to exponentially synchronize with my environment, myself, and my understanding, right? My physical experience, what I was observing, and the environment. We were connected. And in that connection, I knew and trusted a kind of almost divine intervention, right, occurring, and was filled up with ecstasy. And so I know something important was going on. Something important was going on. I was running, and the numbers began to coordinate. So every time I looked down, I was on the treadmill. Every time I looked down at the time and my speed, and what I was feeling, I have a kind of thing that I do, like, for example, if I'm driving and I have the volume, I only like to set it on a certain number. Like, it would never be on 13, right? Volume 13 in my car. It's just never going to happen. It's either going to be on usually a denominator of 3 or 16, because of the 16 Icelandic goddesses that I feel really connected with. And so those kinds of things are important to me. They help me feel aligned in my life just by setting dials to numbers that have meaning to me. And so that was happening on the treadmill, and a series of 3s and 6s and 9s. Every time that I would look down, they would line up, and I felt exponentially, because it continued to happen, and I was able to have like a memory or an association like link up perfectly, and then it would change to like 2 and 1, which added to 3, and these kinds of things, you know. And then I looked across at the pool and I could see the feet and the inches sign, and they were adding up to factors of 3, and it was just like it kept happening like in a short amount of time to where it was almost like orgasmic, and truly like an experience of ecstasy, because not only was my body, meaning my eye and environmental context, like lining up, my spirit, my memory, my associations were also all lining up at the same time. And I felt validated in a way, right? And some people could easily say whatever kind of justifications, right, about well, you just began to look for those things, or it was just random, happened to be, and or it doesn't mean anything. But what does anything mean except for us putting our own definitions and interpretations on it? And why wouldn't you choose something that had meaning to you, something that was special and beautiful? Why wouldn't you do that? I'm not sure. I think the more that we do that, the more we take the responsibility into our hands that we are creating our own experiences here on earth. And when we do that, we get to, I think, illuminate every moment in a kind of value that wasn't perhaps there before, because we didn't think to do it or take the time or value it. The importance of actually putting our value onto something. So I just wanted to share that. I feel like it was a beautiful validation, and the more experiences like that I have, the more synchronicities, I feel like there's also this merging that occurs, right, with the divine. So before, everything just seems disparate, right? You've got a I don't know, a breakfast, and then you have a meeting, and then you have, you walk the dog, and then you talk to a friend. This is just a random example of a day, and that could feel disparate, right? That could feel like all these things are just separate things, and you go about and you go from one thing to another, versus the idea of finding a way in which they transition gracefully and have a common denominator, which they do, you, and bringing that kind of blending, right, overlap or synchronicity of experiences into one. You begin to actually create one whole experience, right, as opposed to separateness, scatteredness. We instead are working towards union, and that kind of merging began to occur even while I was jogging today. And so I know it can happen anywhere, anytime, and to you, and not just me. And I really feel and felt like that merging is what it's all about, and we can strive. That is how we can beautify our lives and our moments, is by bringing them together into a kind of union, into a kind of synthesis. And we have the capacity to do that through our own creative minds, through our imagination, through our powers of perception and observation, and essentially also analysis and you know, interpretation, right? We are the creators. And we have to participate, because it's not just that we're making it out of nothing. We're participating and engaging and relating to the plants, to the buildings, to the people, to the experiences in our lives. And that's all I have to say about that. And I really just wanted to connect. I wanted to stop. I wanted to give myself the opportunity to just begin to articulate and share and express, and it feels really good to be able to do this, and I look forward to just more sharings on the nature of living. So, much love to you. Have a beautiful day.